Mr. Ankur Pramal, State Head of CII, Goa. Thank you, everyone. May I now invite Mr. Brijesh Kumar Upadhyay, Chairman of CII, Goa, for his welcome address.
Sri Alexio Secura, Honorable Minister for Law, Judiciary, Environment, Captain of Ports and Legislative Affairs, Government of Goa. Mrs. Swatika Sachin, IAS, Secretary Industries, Government of Goa and CEO, Goa Investment Promotion and Facilitation Board, Goa Government. Dr. N. Vinod Kumar, Chairperson, MPA. Ms. Swati Salgaonkar, Chairperson, CII Western Region and President, BM Salgaonkar Brothers Private Limited. Sri Anthony Gaskill, Mentor, CII Goa Panel on Logistics and Director, Centra Shipping Private Limited. Sri Ankur Paramal, State Head, CII Goa. Our distinguished speakers, friends from industry, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all today at this 10th edition of CII Logistic Conference. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guest, Sri Alexio Securaji, Honorable Minister, Government of Goa, for sparing his precious time and participating in today's conference. Sir, presence of you here today speaks volumes about the Government of Goa commitment in supporting the industries across the state towards developing the logistic sector of the state. The logistic industry, with its diverse activities including transportation, customer service, inventory management and information flow, plays a pivotal role in global trade and economic growth. In India, the logistic market has been on a steady rise, with projections indicating substantial growth in the coming years. Goa, with its strategic location, is poised to become a regional multimodal logistic hub. The state-rich potential holds the promise of driving remarkable economic benefits and playing a catalytic role for the state and region prosperity. The state government has been vigorously orchestrating efforts to propel the logistics sector by implementing a range of policy initiatives conducive to ease of doing business and encouraging private sector participation in dynamic logistic projects. The foundation of a comprehensive logistic policy, complemented by major infrastructure developments spanning rail, air, road and port networks, would serve as a powerful impetus to the logistics sector and help Goa in unlocking its full trade potential. CII Goa has always been committed to improve logistic infrastructure and connectivity in the state. Back in 2012, CII Goa organized its first logistic conference, which became instrumental in setting the course for a state to emerge as a multi-modal logistic hub, given its strategic proximity to various modes of transport. The subsequent conferences focused on infrastructure development and multimodal logistics, recognizing them as a game changer for the state. Our continuous endeavor has been to bring together all stakeholders to develop and promote logistics across all modes in a sustainable manner. CII has been closely working with different stakeholders, especially like the Government of Goa, across host of sectors. We are thankful to the state government for initiating the establishment of Goa Centre of Excellence on Logistics, which envisions transforming the state into a leading coastal logistic hub by effective implementation of logistic policies, strengthening human resources, identifying and bridging infrastructure gaps, and executing performance projects to optimize logistic operations. There are areas where the state government is already taking action to support businesses The government had also proactively engaged with industries and taken into cognizance the areas of concern. But there is a lot more to be done. The industry must take a more active role and focus on enhancing the entire industrial ecosystem by offering support to all stakeholders. CII is closely monitoring the need of industries in state and is committed to raise their competitiveness with adoption of best practices known across the globe. With these words, I would once again like to welcome you all and urge you to take utmost advantage of today's conference and engage in fruitful deliberations scheduled over the day towards making a more robust and substantial logistics sector in Goa. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you, sir, for the warm welcome. And now I invite Mr. Anthony Gaskell for his theme-setting address and brief the gathering on CII's initiative on logistics sector.
Thank you. So, Mr. Alexo Sequeira, Honourable Minister, Captain of Ports, Environment, Law and Judiciary and Legislative Affairs, Government of Goa, Ms. Swatika Sachin, Secretary Industries, Government of Goa and CEO Goa Investment Promotion and Facilitation Board, Dr. N. Vinod Kumar, Chairman Moraga Port Authority, Ms. Swati Salgaonkar, Chairperson CII Western Region and President VM Salgaonkar and Brothers Private Limited, Mr. Brijesh Kumar Upadhyay, Chairman CII Goa State Council and Chairman and Managing Director Goa Shipyard Limited, and Mr. Ankur Pramal, the Head of CII Goa, and gentlemen, ladies of the press, and my fellow moderators and speakers today, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome to the 10th CII Goa Logistics Conference. And I do feel after 10 years of holding these conferences that actually we are making progress on the logistics front here in Goa. And one proof is that we're able to attract top government ministers and officials and industry leaders to take part in our conference, and it's pleasing to see such a full gathering today to listen to what we all have to talk about on the logistics sector in Goa. And in this session, in the inaugural session, we'll also be witnessing the handing over of the letter of intent to set up the Centre of Excellence for Logistics in Goa. So this is a new initiative which you'll see on the program, and more will be spoken about this in a minute. The first discussion session today addresses the proposal to conduct a traffic study for Goa, which will identify both the import and export cargo as well as the domestic cargo moving in and out of the state. And I think many of us in this room know this is a long-felt need to understand what is the cargo flow in Goa. So hopefully this is something that's going to be actioned in the coming months. The second session is a very important session for Goa, and we'll be talking about restarting the container service at MPA, as well as the requirements for handling bulk cargo like iron ore in the port. And this time when we restart the container service, we need to ensure that not only does the container movement through MPA recommence, but also that it is put on a growth path. And this means that we ensure that the local cargo, EXIM cargo in Goa, uses the port as much as possible, and also that we need to improve the road access to and from the hinterland of Goa so that it's economic for cargo from places like Belgaum and Kolhapur to access and come to MPA. The third session after lunch focuses on warehousing and the new Goa government policy initiatives. And Goa is now home, I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but this will become clear in the session. Goa is now home to some new world-class warehouses, and we look forward to hearing about these. And we also talk about some specific requirements of the air cargo in Goa, now that we have the two airports active in Goa, both handling cargo. And the last session of the day focuses on road transport, and we'll investigate the requirements of road cargo transporters and movements. And this is the first time actually in our conference that we focused on road transport as such and having a separate session for that. So this should prove to be interesting. So I wish you all an enjoyable and fruitful conference, and I hope you can listen to stay for all the sessions and take away whatever thoughts and conclusions that we arrive at today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Ms. Swati Salgaonkar, Chairperson CII Western Region, for delivering her special address and briefing the gathering on the Western Region's perspective on the logistics sector of the region.
Mr. Alex Sequeira, Honorable Minister, Captain of Ports, Environment, Law and Judiciary and Legislative Affairs, Government of Goa, Ms. Shwetika Sachan, Secretary, Department of Industries, Government of Goa, Dr. Vinod Kumar, Chairman, MPA, office bearers of CII on and off the days, distinguished speakers, friends from industry, and my friends from the media. A very good morning to all of you, and thank you for joining us at the 10th edition of the CII Goa Conference on Logistics. It's indeed a pleasure to be amidst all of you today, and especially at this conference, which was conceived with the main aim of advancing Goa's logistics ecosystem and turning it into a key hub for the country. The Indian logistics sector is one of the largest in the world and presents a huge addressable opportunity. As you all know, it's critical for the country's economic growth as we move towards a $5 trillion economy and even ahead of that, as is projected, as it connects various elements of the economy through transportation, warehousing, and other supply chain solutions, servicing suppliers to end customers. An efficient logistics ecosystem not only advances and enhances competitiveness of businesses by contributing to cost reduction, but is also a significant source of employment in the state. And the Department of Commerce has set up their logistics division in July 2017 to oversee the integrated development of the sector. And I'm happy to inform all of you that CII has been working very closely with the department to provide policy inputs and interfacing with thought leaders towards enhancing efficiency and competitiveness of the sector. Today, we gather at a crucial time when Goa, with its strategic location on the western coast of India, is on the verge of transforming itself into a leading logistics hub. Goa's potential as a logistics powerhouse is immense, and with the right infrastructure, policy frameworks, and investments, we can position the state as a key gateway for trade, not just domestic but also international. The government of Goa has been working tirelessly to develop the state's logistics capabilities through infrastructure upgrades, policy reforms, and several other initiatives, including actively promoting private sector participation. This, along with Goa's key natural assets, provides the state with a unique opportunity to significantly enhance trade and create a seamless flow of goods from India to the world. We are honored to have with us Mr. Alex Sequeira and Ms. Shwetika Sachan, as well as Mr. Vinod Kumar here at the inaugural, and of course several distinguished speakers throughout the course of this day. And we're all looking forward to hearing their thoughts, especially as they shape the policy framework and enabling ecosystem in Goa. Over the last decade, the CII Goa Conference on Logistics has served as a crucial platform for dialogue and development in the logistics industry. Collective and sustained efforts of all the stakeholders, especially with the cooperation of the state government, have led to tangible positive changes in Goa's logistics ecosystem. From policy advancements and infrastructure upgrades, the insights shared and actions taken as a result of these conferences have been instrumental in shaping the future of logistics in Goa, providing the foundation for its continued growth and success. Goa is fortunate to have a recently introduced logistics policy, which forms a crucial framework that has provided direction and strategic clarity to the sector in the state. This policy has paved the way for creating a seamless, efficient logistics environment, encouraging investments and fostering collaboration between public and private sectors. It has not only streamlined operations, but also established Goa as a logistics-friendly state, enhancing its appeal to investors and businesses alike. I'm also extremely pleased to share, as Anthony mentioned earlier, a new initiative of the state government towards establishing the state's Centre of Excellence on Logistics, along with CII and the Goa Institute of Management. I'm confident that this will be another key milestone in transforming Goa into a leading logistics coastal hub, not just in terms of actual capacity, but capacity building and education and awareness. I can assure you that today's conference and the ensuing discussions will provide actionable insights and create synergies that will not only benefit Goa and the logistics industry, but also the entire region and the nation as a whole. It is my pleasure to be a part of this landmark event in its 10th edition, and I look forward to the invaluable contributions each one of you will bring to these discussions and our journey towards making Goa a leading industrial hub. Together, we can unlock the tremendous potential of the state, especially in the logistics sector, and pave the way for a prosperous and sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now invite Dr. N. Vinod Kumar for his special address and briefing the gathering on the initiatives taken by the MPA for growth of trade from Moraga Port.
Good morning to all of you. Mr. Alexio Sequeira, Honorable Minister for Ports and Environment, Ms. Svetika, Ms. Swati Salgaonkar, Mr. Anthony, Mr. Brajesh Kumar Upadhyay, and Mr. Ankur, and other CII members. I can see the Captain of Ports, also other dignitaries in the audience, and ladies and gentlemen. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate the CII team, including my friend Mr. Brajesh Kumar Upadhyay for taking this initiative, for having a one-day conference on the logistics sector in Goa. As you know, I feel privileged to represent the Moraga Port, which is one of the oldest ports in the country, known as the Golden Gateway to the Pearl of the Orient. Right from 1885, it has been playing its role as the center of the international logistics supply chain. So we have seen steady improvement in the infrastructure, probably very slow in the first 100 years, but after it was declared a major port, we have seen tremendous strides and improvements in the infrastructure. Fortunately or unfortunately, the port's destiny has been intertwined with the iron ore mining in Goa. So post 2012, as you all know, we have also seen poorer days since 2012 because of the iron ore ban and the mining slowness. But I hope we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and we will soon have more iron ore moving out of the port. But at this juncture, I should not fail to mention that last year we saw a significant growth. We saw a 19% increase in the cargo, from around 17.3 million ton to 20.6 million ton. And I should mention that this was the highest growth among the major ports of the country. So we had the most significant growth in the cargo, mainly because of the iron ore coming from the North Karnataka, which is also our hinterland. We cater to the North Karnataka and southern Maharashtra also. And we also saw a significant jump in the coastal cargo from 1.5 million tons to 3.90 million tons. So that was a significant jump in the coastal cargo as well. And it is nice to mention that we handled, despite a number of disruptions in the railway rates, but we handled the maximum number of rates last year. That was, with total synergy with the Southwestern Railway and the port and the stakeholders, and nothing to do with any infrastructure upgradation. So with the present infrastructure, we handled maximum number of rates last year. So these were the good things which happened last year. And I would like to mention that the current projects which we are investing, we are right now implementing projects worth 1,152 crores in the port, which includes the 4-lane port connectivity road, which will be completed by next month. So it would be inaugurated probably by the end of the year. So this will kind of revolutionize the movement of cargo into the port, bypassing the township, which is very important. The trucks can go undisrupted into the port. So this 4-lane highway, the port connectivity road, will be completed very soon. We are coming up with a 3 megawatt solar power plant, which will see that the port getting converted to a green port. We are also bringing in 2 HMCs because we have, given the 2 berths, 10 and 11, through PPP route, and we'll be having 2 HMCs very soon, expected to arrive by the end of November. So we'll be able to handle the containers from at least the 2025 beginning. We'll be able to install this, and this will also see around 140 crore of investment on these 2 berths. So we'll be able to upgrade our storage warehouses in the berths. We'll also see a 180 crore dome structure coming up in the port to reduce the pollution that is being by the SWPL. I think the Honorable Minister will be happy to note that. So apart from this 1,152 crore of investments in the port, we are also seeing around 950 to 1,000 crore of investments coming in the coming years. One is the Vasco Bay project, which has been delayed for so long, and with support from the state government, sir, we hope that we'll be able to implement the Vasco Bay project, which is a 550 crore, which will see a fishing harbour and also dedicated berths for the Indian Navy and the Coast Guard. We will also have the capital dredging. We want to create at least 2-3 deep draft berths where the Cape-size vessels can come. So that would require another 400 crore investment to convert this port into a deep draft port, which we'll see, because right now the draft is around 14.5 meter. We have to increase it to 18.5 meter or 19 meter for the Cape-size vessels to come in. And this, along with the doubling of the railway line, which is expected to happen during at least by 27-28, I hope, this will see a kind of a revolution and a change in the logistics sector in Goa. Along with this, we want to transform this port. I'm happy to announce that the Moraga Port has been given the task by the Ministry of Port Shipping and Waterways to make a study on how 5G can revolutionize the ports. This is being done internationally. International ports have moved on to 5G network because they want to bring in more Internet of Things, smart devices into the port. Because right now the port equipments, they are all isolated. The trucks moving into the port, they are all isolated. Tomorrow, using the 5G network and bringing in smart devices and equipments, whether we can convert or transform the present ports into a port 4. So we have already tied up with BITS Pilani Goa. They're already doing a roadmap study expected to be complete by end of November. So the port is taking that lead in completing this study, and the Ministry of Port Shipping and Waterways, they want us to take the lead and bring up a roadmap so that other ports can also implement the 5G network and the smart devices, use technologies like IoT, digital twin, etc. in the ports. And I'm sure the Honorable Minister, last time when we met, he was reminding me, I'm not only the Minister for Ports, but also of Environment. So I will, sir, I would spend a minute to tell about the earth-friendly steps we have taken. We have signed an agreement with RVNL for planting 5,000 saplings to increase the green cover in the port. And another good thing, sir, what has happened is we have become the first port in India, and not only in India, in South Asia, to bring green ship incentives. There is no other port in India or South Asia which has brought green ship incentives, which means vessels coming to the port with greener technologies, they'll be charged less on the port dues. So some incentive for the vessels with greener technologies. That scheme, which we call as the Harit Shrey, that is green credit, that has got, sir, global kind of a notice with the Secretary General of International Association of Ports and Harbors congratulating this kind of a scheme, because we are using their parameter. The IAPH is granting some score to each vessel, and we are using their parameter to judge whether a vessel is eligible for getting this incentive. Apart from this, sir, we understand that because we are dealing with cargo, we are doing this much infrastructural investments, naturally there will be a carbon footprint. Acknowledging the carbon footprint is the first way to deal with it. There's no point in saying that we don't pollute the environment. So the fact is that we pollute the environment, and we have done a study along with NITK Surathkal to arrive at the carbon footprint. So the report says that we are emitting 32,000 tons of carbon dioxide. So we have to deal with this 32,000 tons of carbon dioxide, so which is very less, because the port of Rotterdam is emitting 22 million tons of carbon dioxide. But 32,000 tons of carbon dioxide, yes, it is a significant number for us. And how are we going to reduce it? One is this 3 megawatt solar power plant, which will be commissioned in the next 3-4 months. So we will be reducing this emission by 10% straight away, which is scope 2 emission, because we are using electricity. That part can be reduced by 10% straight away when we come up with this solar power plant. We are also expanding the scheme of Harit Shrey to trucks also. So the incentives can be given to trucks which are using cleaner fuels. So this way we have a definite scheme and plan to reduce the carbon footprint. At least we know now how much carbon dioxide we are responsible for. And we will definitely take measures to bring it down in the next 3-4 years significantly. We will also engage the stakeholders, because the scope 2 and scope 3 emissions, the stakeholders kind of cooperation is also very important. So these are the steps which we are taking along with the infrastructure investments. We will also be responsible to bring down the carbon emissions, and we will take it forward, and we will try to meet your all expectations, and we have to invest, improve, and also be sustainable in the long run. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I would like to inform you that Mr. Vijay Kumar was about to join us virtually, but right now he has been urgently called to the cabinet for a meeting. However, he would be joining us during the later course of the day. Okay. So, taking ahead the agenda of the conference, may I now invite Ms. Svetika Sachin to deliberate on the initiative taken by the Government of Goa towards establishing the State Government Centre of Logistics in collaboration with CII and Goa Institute of Management.
Very good morning to one and all, Honorable Minister, Sikira sir, Vinod sir, Swati, our CII members on the dais, and all the attendees today on the dais. Very good morning to one and all. This Centre of Excellence that today we will initiate through a letter of intent, it's a tripartite initiative on behalf of the Government of Goa, along with the CII and the Goa Institute of Management. The whole idea to do such a Centre of Excellence emanated from realizing that there was a need to further strengthen and also steer the implementation of the Goa logistics policy. Further, there was a need to identify and improve logistics infrastructure. We also saw that there's a real dire need to develop human resource capacity in logistics sector, and also the most important, to address siloization in the implementation, in addressing the issue of logistics. We all know that infrastructure is taken over by specific state government departments, also central important agencies like MPA. Then the policy support, of course, is always given by the industries department. Then most importantly comes the skill development department, the higher education departments, which are very, very instrumental, number one, in understanding the industry needs in terms of the capacity, the human resource requirement. And also from the point of view of investments, we definitely require the industry sector's input. So to align all of these needs, we decided that, the best way to establish such a center of excellence to further collaborate, study, and implement in the logistics sector would be to partner with an academic institution. And no better than Goa Institute of Management came forward with one call, and they were very, very keen. The CII Center of Logistics, the National Center of Logistics, also really collaborated with us. They persevered and they pursued the entire concept. We sat together, we developed the idea, in multiple iterations, and we were able to then decide and in a way spell out the vision and the mission that the Center of Excellence would go on to implement. The Goa Institute of Management will act as the physical center where the COE would run from. They will provide the infrastructural support, the classrooms, the faculty. It was also extremely heartening to know that GIM is already doing a lot of logistics related including projects, including working with various logistics industry members to do small kind of programs where the students go, they learn, and they understand how operations are done, different logistics companies function. So they would in their own small domain were doing a lot in logistics, which I was not aware of. Similarly, CII has an extremely detailed work, have worked with a lot of other state governments as well to design and implement a lot of logistics related courses and programs. So I think there was no need to reinvent the wheel, and it was a no-brainer to just onboard them and take them in this particular program. And then the state government of Goa, through the Directorate of Industries, Trade and Commerce, will be the umbrella government agencies who will then with their help find the policy related gaps, and will then act in that direction. The whole program would be initiated through this LOI and will constitute a steering committee. The steering committee would comprise of all these three important branches, but also would include important government departments like skill development, technical higher education, infrastructure related departments of the government, also industry stakeholders, very importantly the associations, as well as some of the important logistics industries in Goa. So and today I'm very happy to announce that we are signing this LOI, and we'll be presenting it to GIM and CII. And in the long run, we'll also then go ahead with the detailed memorandum of understanding, which will subsequently be signed. And then from there on, the COE would start functioning. Some of the more important aspects I wanted to highlight would not go into a lot of detail, but the Center of Excellence, apart from doing what I told, in the long run, will also work with various education institutions to ensure that the programs that they design are also, at the last mile taken up. We'll also work with industry partners to set up, logistics related labs and, workshops in ITIs of the government of Goa. We would also like to, encourage and motivate all our industry partners to, please help us to, set up such labs, because the government funding is limited. So, that synergy can be leveraged. And lastly and most importantly, the policy mentions that we want to incubate good projects in the logistics sector, and then the government is also committed to giving some specialized funding, as mentioned in the policy, to set up such an incubation center, which will also function with the GIM itself. So I hope that this initiative will go a long way in actually implementing and actualizing the Goa logistics policy, in addition to the incentives that we are soon going to launch. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Swatika. Now I would request Ms. Swatika Sachin to hand over the letter of intent to CII Western Region Chairperson Ms. Swati Salgaonkar and the CII Goa Chairman Mr. Brajesh Upadhyay and Mr. K.V. Mahindra. So first, we have the Region Chairperson Ms. Swati Salgaonkar. Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause. Now I would request Ms. Ritika Sachin to kindly hand over the letter of intent to the CII Goa Chairman, Mr. Brajesh Upadhyay. So I request Ms. Ritika Sachin to hand over the letter of intent to the Goa Institute of Management. Representative of the gym, Dr. Raj Amonkar is receiving the intent letter. Thank you. And now I would invite the Honorable Minister, Mr. Alexo Sequeira, to address the gathering.
Madam Swatika Sachin, Secretary Industries, Government of Goa. Dr. N. Vinod Kumar, Chairman, NPT, or NPA, sorry. I guess it's force of habit. Madam Swati Salgankar, Chairperson, CII Western Region. Shri Brajesh Kumar Upadhyay, Chairman, CII Goa State Council. Mr. Anthony Gaskell, Mr. Anup, ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, I would like to thank CII Goa for giving me the privilege to be in your midst today. As tradition demands, a chief guest is supposed to speak and address the gathering. But when I see all of you all gathered here, sometimes I think you all would have done a better job than me. But I believe you all are masters of your trade, and that is why I say you all would have done a better job. I believe, and I categorically would like to assure you that the government of Goa is serious to contribute in its own small way whatever is necessary to ensure we achieve the task of developing Goa. We recognize the fact that logistics has to play a major role. We also recognize our responsibility to contribute towards the goals our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has set for this nation. We also recognize the fact that it is through you all that we would be able to achieve aims of our Chief Minister in Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant. Goa has the privilege of having been blessed with a natural harbour, which today we refer to as Moraga Port Authority, a harbour under their control. We also have rivers which recently have been nationalized, and we hope that with this nationalization we would get sufficient funds from Government of India to develop our rivers, which in turn would be contributing to facilitate your business vis-a-vis logistics. Under the Sagarmala project, we propose to construct 7 new jetties which were in a dilapidated condition, though these jetties are primarily being developed for passenger transportation. The Inland Waterways Authority of India has initiated consultants to study ways to tackle sandbar formations at the mouth of our rivers. The DPRs for establishing a river information system for surveillance of the rivers of Goa based on radar, VHF, AIS, CCTV and weather stations are already being done by IIT Chennai. The tender for these works would shortly be floated. This in turn would improve the security and safety of navigations of the rivers in the state of Goa. For example, River Zuari, River Mandovi and River Kumbhajua. The work of constructing a new lighthouse at Kampal is being undertaken shortly. Navigational aids are also being proposed and would be put in place again at the earliest. We have 10 new floating jetties that are under the process of construction. These works have been tendered and I guess would be installed shortly by Marine Tech. I will take this opportunity also to highlight development plans we have in the maritime sector for Goa. Development of one of the islands of Goa on the lines of Sentosa, Singapore. Set up of a network of green hydrogen production facilities across the state. Set up of marine hydrogen supply centers. Sheltered breakwaters for multipurpose passenger terminal, loading cranes and transshippers operating in Panaji Port. Chairman MPD may not like to hear that. Outer anchorage mooring buoys for loading large vessels. Submarine tourism for scuba diving and ocean exploration. These are just to name a few projects we propose to undertake. While speaking of that, I would also like to congratulate the chairman of MPA for the steps he has initiated vis-a-vis the environment. Though I still have one more request, and I repeat the word request. You have initiated the construction of a dome by JSW. I would appeal to you to use your good offices and ensure that those other parties that import coal to Goa also undertake such a construction. And I'm sure with that, we would be clearing a lot of pollution that is taking place vis-a-vis the import of coal. Leave aside, I know some time back at the recently concluded Maritime State Development Council, I passed a comment and I'll repeat it today. I agree that your income has gone down drastically with the closure of exports of iron ore. However, as I said that day, health is more precious than money. So I once again repeat, please use your good offices and force the, I don't want to name, the importers of coal other than JSW to initiate this step. As far as the government is concerned, you can be rest assured that whatever cooperation you require, vis-a-vis even environment, I will be with you. I know you have an application for dredging of I think the waterway. If I'm not mistaken, I think that has been approved or is in the, it should be approved in the next few days. The seriousness of Government of Goa vis-a-vis recognizing the importance of logistics, I think has clearly been shown today in the signing of this tripartite agreement between CII, GIM and Government of Goa. This is clear proof that the Chief Minister of Goa means business, and I think on behalf of the government I can commit to you all that whatever assistance is required, support is required from the government will be given to all of you. Once again, I would like to congratulate CII for having organized this seminar. In the years gone by, when I was Minister for Industries, I had received a lot of cooperation, a lot of guidance from this organization. And I'm sure as we move ahead, we could count on your support, your cooperation, and let us jointly, hand in hand, strive to make Goa a better place to live in. Having said that, without industry, I'm sure living is difficult. So let us walk together and let us see whatever we can achieve to make Goa a logistic hub in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So now I would like to request Ms. Swati Salgaonkar to kindly present the token of gratitude to the Honorable Minister, Shri Alexo Sequeira.